Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Welcome, people. It is Morning Spring again this Tuesday morning. We are indeed so glad to be here, and we are even super excited that you are there, joining us for this amazing edition. Morning Spring is where we talk about social political issues affecting us as a people, speaking to critical stakeholders. We speak to politicians, policymakers, so that we can have a hang of what is going on and that you are esteemed viewers can make informed choices. My name is Evelyn Ohiole, welcoming you especially to a beautiful day. Yes, it is a beautiful day. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. The past is in the past. Just use the lessons of the past to forge ahead. Today is a clean slate rather, to make it count. I'm not here alone today. How are you doing?
Very well. Nice to be here. You look amazing. Always.
I can say so for yourself. You're looking dapper.
Uh-oh. Good morning to you wherever you are viewing us from. It's a pleasure to be here and thanking you indeed for really keeping tabs with us on this dial. Western Spring Television, the station that says it as it is. You have two media, two very amazing stations. Sometimes you want to just keep one to the other. It's always fine. It promises to be excited and it promises to be very and also very educational. Stay with us. Start with stories making the rounds from the day. Right?
Yes. And let's just get right into it. We move ahead at this point. The Daily Trust newspaper. We're starting with the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. On Daily Trust newspaper, what do we have? Tinubu orders crackdown on protesters waving Russian flag. With riders here, it's treason, defense chief warns. We have no hand in Nigerian protests, says Russia. And police arrest producers of flags in Kano, Nasarawa. Demonstrators defy curfew in Plateau, Kano, dance naked in Osun. That's to tell you that the demonstrations are still ongoing in different parts of the country. And of course, what we have in the north is, the protesters, the demonstrators waving Russian flags and calling on Russian to lend a helping hand. We hear that the police have arrested the producers of these flags, but Sunday, when this news filtered into the air yesterday, a lot of people were asking, was it right to arrest the producers of the flags? I mean, I saw a video of a tailor making the flags, and people were just saying it's just him doing his job. So why do you have to arrest the producer? Why not arrest those who were waving the flags? What do you think?
Basically, for anyone to have done that, that's bringing a nation into a nation.
Yeah.
And that's like you're calling in for anarchy.
Yeah.
Of course. I just looked at what transpired there yesterday. Yesterday. No, day before yesterday, while people waving the Russian flag, that on its own is treason and liable to about 7 years in prison.
Yeah.
These are things you don't.
Mm.
Whoever made that, you are in connivance with those waving the flag as well. So for you to have been able to sit back and say, "This is what you want to do," boy, such a person will probably cool off in prison for a while.
All right.
Shouldn't be.
We see what this will mean in the coming weeks and months. Moving on, military takes over as Bangladeshi Prime Minister flees country yesterday. Also, the news filtered into the air that the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hassani, flee the country, and we saw protesters occupy the parliamentary building, and it's like a wave all around the world now. Protesters, demonstrators, people speaking up against their government, and people say it's like a wave of revolution sweeping across
The world.
at this time. What is happening?
Yeah, just as it's going to be a topic we'll be looking at what's happening in the UK.
Yes.
I think for me, as an adult, I think this is the first time in years, in decades, not just years, decades, to hear about what is happening in the UK at this moment, and lootings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that of Bangladesh, I followed that story to a large extent, where the prime minister had to flee the country. It's that bad. It's that serious. But I don't know if probably a revolution around the world is just about to take place, or it's already taking place. Because if you look at what's happening around these countries at this point in time, it's about governance, 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 misplacement of priorities in one way or the other. But that of the United Kingdom, we'll discuss that of the United Kingdom in the course of the program, though.
Definitely.
But in as much as we have always preached that no matter what it looks like, destruction, killings, and lootings, this happened in Nigeria. And looking at the pharmaceutical company supermarket that was looted in Kaduna, these are things that's it's unfair.
Unnecessary.
It's unfair.
Yeah.
And looking at what Mr. President has said now, that there's this crackdown, just like you said, the front page of Daily Trust has said a crackdown on these protesters. It shouldn't be, because now the Nigerian army will have to step in, because that's what they are meant to do. Protect the integrity of the sovereign integrity of the nation.
Yeah.
Now, you haven't to come out waving another country's flag in your country.
Yeah.
I know. It's like an enemy coming into that nation, and the Nigerian army would need to. That's the thing. So it's scary.
All right, let's quickly breeze through what other headlines we have on the front page of Daily Trust today. Protests, gun, other exhibits looted from court still missing. This is coming from Kano Judiciary. And 177,914 new voters registered for Ondo governorship elections. FG issues travel advisory to Nigerians visiting UK. And data depletion, NCC orders telcos to make tariffs transparent. Protest, police quiz Trust TV producer. These are headlines making the round on the front page of Daily Trust newspaper this beautiful Tuesday morning.
As beautiful as the Tuesday morning is, let me check out what it looks like from the front page of the Nation newspaper at this point in time. The big bold caption there says, businesses open in peaceful Lagos, bank looting in Kaduna. And just above that major headline there, you have that story in the red strip here. Sanwo-Olu Sanwo-Olu's government has completed 19 abandoned housing schemes, says Commissioner. Say congratulations and well done, Mr. Governor, then. And 14 banks key into consumer credit scheme with the rider 200 billion naira set aside. Over 1.5 million applicants pass financial inclusion test. Moving further down, protest and Public Order Act 1979. You want to know more about that? It's an editorial, I guess. You can find it on the pages of the Nation newspaper. And on the bottom strip with the red label, Benue PDP suspends autumn. And also, federal government issues advisory to citizens traveling to UK. Now, it's the turn of the federal government of Nigeria. Thank you. Flying foreign countries flag, treasonable. CBS warns. There's a writer to that story. He says, Russian flag bearing protesters. Russian flag bearing protesters. Taylor held. Count us out, says embassy. That's the Russian embassy speaking there. And moving to the top strip of the Nation newspaper still, NCC asks telecos to simplify tariff plans, bundles, others. Yes, please simplify it. Honestly, at times when you get data, you find out that within a couple of hours or a day or two, no matter how large the data consumption is, it's out already. And 20,371 students get NEL funds, 20,000 naira each as monthly stipend. Okay. Firms to power hospitals with compressed natural gas. Don't spray naira. Freed Bobrisky advises Nigeria. The fear of EFCC seems to be the beginning of wisdom. It was a beautiful thing. Looking at how, oh, is he a heel? Looking at Shim. Okay, him. All right. Come out yesterday after released from prison cell, away for the better part of 4 months, I guess.
Yeah.
Looking glowy, looking amazing, and checking out some of her friends who came to welcome her. I don't know. I'm just a bit confused about the how him. Either way, for that.
Because the fellow
yes.
has always claimed to be she.
Okay.
But when he was paraded and he was in court.
No, you're saying he again here.
Okay, when the fellow was paraded, arrested rather,
Yeah.
and was charged to court.
Yes.
In court, he was asked,
"Are you?"
his gender, and he said, "I'm male."
Why this?
So I think I'll just go with what he said to the court.
He. He is a he. All right. That'll be all from the Nation newspaper from me this morning.
He said he's a he. Sounding Chinese there. All right, we'll move over to the Punch newspaper at this time. Still talking about the hunger protest on the Punch. Military talks tough as pro-Russia rallies spread. With riders, DHQ hunts protest sponsors. Governors summon emergency security meetings. Russia disowns protesters. Police arrest over 30. More northern states declare curfew. And still on the Punch newspaper, protests rock Nigeria, Bangladesh, and United Kingdom. And you can see the photos of different countries and their demonstrators. FG asks workers to register for 40,000 naira rise. Lagos chief's murder. DPP indicts police inspector. And riots, Nigeria, Indonesia, Australia warn citizens about travel to the UK. Top strip of the Punch newspaper today. Why fuel importers will frustrate Dangote. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo is speaking. And fuel queues to clear as loading resumes at depots. Blackout as national grid collapses again. And someone may want to ask, number what? I mean, we've had the grid collapse how many times this year? And it has happened again. And lastly, from the Punch newspaper, curious fate divides reps. This will be all from the Punch newspaper this morning.
And quickly from the pages of the Guardian newspaper for today, FG prioritizes NAS State House State House spending amid MBA's funding crisis. I'll take that story again. FG prioritizes NAS State House spending amid MDA's funding crisis. Okay, you can see there's so much of data analysis there. It's quite a whole lot. Release funds for the first half of the year, and so many things. And looking at Nigeria's oil commitments versus average production volume. These are analysis to widen the gap between expenditure and revenue, which is nearing crisis level. All right. We just hope these data can result into something much more palatable for Nigerians. Moving further below those analyses there, Reps dissolve panel probing allegations of dirty fuel, blame negative media coverage. EFCC warns council chairman against mismanagement, and how federal government, all majors sacrifice, privatize Niger Delta, others for profit. Protesters defy Tinubu's plea, continue demonstration in Rivers. And U.S. may become largest crude supplier to Nigerian refineries years after it stopped buying. And INEC registers fresh 177,914 voters for Ondo, Edo polls. And military vows crackdown over treasonous use of Russian flag at protests. That story is virtually common to all dailies for today. And that will be all as well from the Guardian newspaper for this morning.
And that's all we have for you on the newspaper review segment. And as we have said, most of the papers covered the protests in Bangladesh, in Nigeria, and the riots that have taken place in the United Kingdom. Like I said, seems like the revolution is sweeping across countries right now.
Seriously.
Kenya has just
At least
shifted away from the chaos and violence that it recorded in the past weeks, and it seems Kenya handed over the baton to Nigeria, and this is what we are seeing all over the country at this time. But for today on the conversation, we are going to be moving to the United Kingdom, because United Kingdom is one kingdom that, because I don't want to say country, it's a combination of different countries. It's one place that people think that they have advanced, they are more civilized. The democracy there is top notch.
Absolutely.
So when we begin to have repeat or a copy of the Yoruba Ronu or Yoruba Igbo must go in Lagos kind of thing in the UK, then it's cause for concern.
It does. It does. Just as you rightly said, it spreads across all the kingdoms: Wales, Ireland, Scotland, England, as well. And ever since this news emanated and we began to see what's happening, for those, most of us, whereby we have one relative, friends, or cousins, or that about all spread all over the United Kingdom, it raises a big dust, and I'm a bit alarmed and scared, because when the whites, white complexioned set of people begin to say this about certain things, it could be very risky. And when you look at some of the redheads, they call them the redheads set of people. They are a bit volatile. They are volatile, not a bit volatile. I know what it looks like. They can go to any length for anything. But we just hope something drastic is done. And I know we said this yesterday, that this is the first major test for the new Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. But we just hope something is done, because looking at it, we have Metropolitan Police out there, Scotland Yard out there, and they don't care. These guys are facing them. They're injuring policemen. I can't even, as at the last count, I can't even remember how many policemen are being rushed to the hospital. So it's getting messier. If they can actually come after the security apparatus, security men, what about, who says they can't come against the citizens, the immigrants, the residents? So it's something that needs urgent attention.
We will not be having this conversation alone, as we will be speaking to a resident of the United Kingdom to help us have a better understanding and a viewer perspective of what to expect, of what is in the United Kingdom and what the government of the United Kingdom is doing at this time, and how safe are the immigrants over there, especially the Nigerian immigrants. We have some of our citizens move there for education purpose, for tourism, for work-related purposes. What is going to be their fate when they know that when they move out, they have to keep looking all around to ensure that they are safe? Although people say that it's not the entirety of the United Kingdom that this riots,
is taking place.
Exactly. That is just some towns and cities. But what is the likelihood that it is not going to spread across, the other cities that have not yet been affected
Yeah.
And this is where the government needs to nip it in the bud
Absolutely.
before
Yeah.
it escalates.
Yeah, so it's just like someone who wants to set a bush on fire, and it looks at it and says, just this portion of the bush is what I want to just burn down. The other side isn't mine. Where it's just mine is just where I want to set fire on, burning down. But before you know it, the breeze begins to blow, and it begins to blow. It gets to Evelyn's farmland. From there, it gets to this farmland, and it begins to spread, and it goes like a wildfire. Now, if probably it's happening here in Manchester, and before you know it, it's getting to Portsmouth or Newcastle. It begins to spread, and before you know it, it probably enters into Scotland, gets into Wales, and if something drastic is not done to checkmate this, it's going to become a full-blown war.
And before you know, it spreads into schools. The black immigrants' children
Exactly.
are no longer safe, and
Yeah.
it spreads into workplaces. People who have immigrants in their workplaces begin to treat them. So it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. And before this cancer violence spreads into every other part of the United Kingdom, into other sectors in the United Kingdom, it's better that it is cured at this time
the board.
before things get messier. Like you said, this is the first big test for Saka Starmer. And a lot of people are saying it is not his fault. It just got into the reins of power. It was given the reins of power when?
Yeah,
2 weeks ago or so. 3 weeks ago, thereabout. So they are just looking for how he is going to respond to this situation.
Yeah.
We'll go for this break. When we return, we will be having a conversation on this and speaking to someone who would help us have a better understanding. We'll go anywhere. Morning Spoon, we'll be right back. Good morning, doctor.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Nice to see you in this yellow attire, native attire. I think.
Thank you. Good morning. Nice to see you too.
And we are sorry for disrupting your sleep a bit.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We agreed to do this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning to you, doctor.
Yeah, good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well, and you?
Very well.
Good to see you again. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Thank you.
Leke, I was going to take this thing on the teleprompter. We should skip it because of time. Alpha, okay.